Hey, everybody, it's Tell the Truth Sports Radio. I'm Ron Fitch. I'm going to continue with the weekend roundup. I wanted to give college football its own spotlight, and then I'm going to end with a little bit of the NFL, and then the Mets look like they're whooping up on the Brewers. I'll talk about baseball. Alabama, Georgia was so far the game of the year. It was just two teams just going at it. Alabama looked so sharp flying out of the gate. Milrow sharp throwing a touchdown pass, a run, and then they're moving down. They're moving down the field four times. Milrow's 36-yard touchdown was electric. His throws were great. He was balling. I'll tell you his stats right now. Milrow had 374 yards, two TDs. Yeah, one bad pick. And he had 117 yards rushing. Dude was balling. And 30-7 halftime, I'm thinking, I said to myself, Georgetown's going to come back. I mean, Georgia's going to come back and make it a game. I didn't know if they were going to come all the way back. They came all the way back on a 27-3 run. What they did, they stopped Melrose running the perimeter. They took away the bomb and they stopped the running game. They looked like they solved Georgia. They came all the way back on a 27-3 run where Carson Beck caught fire. And the last touchdown to give them the lead was Dylan Bell's 67-yard touchdown pass to give them the lead with 2:42 left. I'm thinking Alabama shook it. It'll take a while to get over this loss, coming all the way back and blowing it. I remember Cam Newton beat them on a comeback. And it wasn't even this kind of deficit. And then Alabama kind of went in the tank, got blown out in the bowl game. But to Jalen Milroe's credit, he throws a 75-yard touchdown to Ryan Williams, catches it, two defenders running to each other. He scores. And the call, I'm telling you, Fowler was on his game. He was like, Ryan Williams catch, touchdown, Alabama. And the crowd was electric. It gave me that call and that play gave me goosebumps. The way the crowd was lit up. It was just I tell you, that place was amazing. I'm telling you something. Just, whew, that was just some game at Legion Field. It was just some game. But now, here's my takeaway. Both secondaries were terrible, never locating the ball till that last interception Carson Beck threw for Georgia to win the game. That was a great play to win the game. Xavier Brown, who was lit up a little bit, made that interception, but Carson Beck sure threw the ball further toward the sideline and deeper, and that could have been a touchdown. But he didn't. There's a couple of mistakes he made he'll regret. But both secondaries are bad, and that is not good if you're going to run to Tennessee and Texas. So both teams need to tighten up with that because we could see a rematch. We might not. It's explosive as these teams looked offensively and defensively. Texas is really good, and Tennessee is really good. But these two teams are battle-tested. They've won all the national championships recently. So they play with a lot of confidence. And Texas and Tennessee have to prove it. They have to prove it to me. Those teams that have been in the playoffs, been in situations, lost in big spots. And they're both very good and capable of beating both these teams. Now, I think going forward, Georgia probably more happier. Hey, we went to Alabama, made that comeback. If we see them again, it's going to be a neutral site. We might get them this time. We won't fall behind 30-7 this time. And if we do, we know we can come back. You can't do it again. It might not happen, but it might not be a comeback. But anyway, Georgia should be really, really, really confident. But Alabama's confident too because Jalen Milroe, his ability to pass the ball, he's a big, strong, fast kid running. He's not Michael Vick. Michael Vick was super fast, electrifying. This guy's big and fast and can throw and can run. It might run you over. So he's a weapon. And they run it pretty good. And you know you got one of the best receivers in the country already as a freshman. Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams are the two best. Now, I know Beck would like another chance because he left a couple of plays, good as he played, he left a couple of plays on the table. But going forward, the SEC is really tough. The SEC is low. Oklahoma had a good win. They played well. I want to give the Colorado Buffaloes credit. That was a great win against uh, Central Florida. Oh man, just I'm very impressed. I don't see them in the top 25. I'm surprised, but I give them their flowers. They really played good against Central Florida, destroyed them. I got love for how they play because I wasn't sure. I did not pick them to win the game, but they played a lot better. The line of scrimmage has been huge. Ever since getting tattooed by Nebraska 2010, they have responded and played well. They beat a 48-21 victory over Central Florida, doesn't open eyes. And Shedeur Sanders had 290 yards and 3 TDs. Woo! They didn't run it as well, but you got Shepard receiving the ball well. And you got the Miro is probably the favorite to win the Heisman if Alabama runs the table, and even if they lose one, and he just plays great. But the best player in college football is Travis Hunter. The way he can, I'm gonna look at his defensive stats. He got an interception. He played really good offensively. He had 9 receptions for 89 yards and a TD. He's playing the whole game. Nobody's really done that. He's Chuck Bednarik, modern day Chuck Bednarik. Not tough as concrete Charlie, but I'm talking about he played the minutes he's played, and he's always energetic. He plays good corner. He's a terrific route running receiver. And I want to tell you what, Shedeur Sanders is one of the best quarterbacks in the country because Jason Dart let me down against Kentucky. The 2-minute drill was putrid. He's still good, but Shedeur Sanders to me is the best. And I want to wait until the end of the year to decide who's really the best. Right now, he's the best quarterback. And if I'm the Miami Dolphins, and they're going to keep losing until Tua comes back, if they go 1-7 and they go whatever, however, I'm going to trade up if I don't have the number 1 pick. I'm going to get. And if they do trade Tyreek Hill to the Chiefs, get their pick, take a 1 and go get Shedeur Sanders, draft him, put him there, go get Travis Hunter, and then pair him with Waddle and build your team from there. I know you lose Hill, and you Kansas City would be a lock to 3-peat, but you're literally rebuilding with the quarterback. You're gonna take a year or two, build your offense. Shedeur Sanders has got a high IQ to go along with McDaniel. Deion will love South Florida. South Beach is going there. Deion will love his child to be there. And maybe you draft his other child in the 3rd round, Shiloh, and go from there. I would do that. And as far as I thought Colorado would kind of struggle with the schedule, but I'm looking at this schedule. Kansas State's going to be tough because you're coming off an emotional high. It's good you get a bye week. At Arizona, Cincinnati, at Texas Tech, even Utah without Cam Rising, at Kansas, Oklahoma State's going to be tough. They have a chance to win every single game. Probably not, but now your goals could be higher. The way you play defense and offense, your goals couldn't be higher. I'm thinking, and you know what the key is? Warren Sapp, Ed Reed, grabbing up Hall of Famers, teaching these kids the proper techniques has accelerated their development. So I was impressed with Colorado. The sky's the limit. I don't know if they're going to run the table and all that craziness, but you take one game at a time, and what they have is the best elixir you can have is confidence. After surviving North Dakota, surviving Baylor when it looked shabby and still won. This effort, being an underdog, if they don't become full of themselves and stay focused, they got a chance to do damage because you got Hunter, you got the best one of the best receiving corps in college football. You have a money quarterback under pressure. If their defense and you got good corners, if your defense could hold up and offense could hold up decent enough, you got a chance. But we'll see. I want to see their mentality, how they handle success, and that's going to let me know how far. The Mets stared Milwaukee down and lapped them and overtook them at the end. This was a gritty Met win, and I'm wondering the effects of that home run by Lindor that got them in the playoffs. And I wonder, even though the Braves won the next, because the Mets didn't care, I wonder if that took some of the confidence from the Braves. And I'll tell you why. The Mets, it was a great game. Severino pitched 6 innings, did what he had to do, 3 runs against the Brewers is pretty good. When the Brewers took a 4-3 lead, they were feeling pretty good. But then the Mets went small ball. Iglesias single run. Ventos single run. 2 runs. JD Martinez, you better pray. If you're playing the Mets, you better pray this guy because playoff JD Martinez is a problem. JD Martinez singles to right, 8-4. The Mets got Lindor and JD Martinez, money hitters in the postseason. And it's over after that. And I'm really impressed that the Mets closed. Once it got 8-4, that was it. Stanek closed, did what he had to do. 14 pitches, that was it. And the Mets win. And I think they're going to eventually beat the Brewers and move on. If you're the Dodgers or Phillies, the Mets are your worst nightmare. One of those teams is coming in flying, just making it, full of confidence, good veterans who've won. They're closer. If they get their closing situation and middle relief situation straight, watch out. And they're going to be very tough at Citi Field. I know recently they lost to the Padres and the Giants, but this group plays with confidence, and when they come home to that crowd, like I said, if you're the Dodgers and Phillies, watch out. If the Mets fans go to Citizens Park, so you'll have Met fans there. I don't know how they would travel a little bit to LA, but they would definitely. I'm putting them in the head of. I'm going too far ahead, but I just wonder if Milwaukee's like the Orioles, and I get to the Orioles when I go into the American League. I just wonder if that's one of those teams that just gets in the playoffs and then loses, and they can't elevate, have a good season, but they can't elevate their game. And that's speaking of that, the Braves. And the Braves are like the Braves of the 90s. They get one title and they lose playoff series after playoff series after playoff series. And they got shut out. 7 hits and couldn't get a run in. And the Padres beat them pretty easy. Tatis, 2-run homer. Watch out for Tatis. He's dangerous in the postseason too. They got some explosive hitters. Tatis and Machado. Be careful of those guys. They get good pitching. Tatis a hit. Watch out. Machado didn't even hit in this series, but King pitched well, and Suarez closed, and Suarez looked very good to close. But the middle relief got 3 strikeouts, and Jason Adam, who was really good. I watched his stuff is good, and they finished off the Braves. They're not writing them off. I just think the Brewers and the Padres the Mets and the Padres are going to take care of business. I think the Braves, because once you lose in a 2-game series, you only got 1 game left and then the pressure mounts. Pressure's going to be way on the Brewers because they're home. The Braves is going to be, it's going to be even more on the Braves when they're in San Diego and that crowd, especially they get behind, that crowd starts to sense their team is about to advance in the next round. And, they have good you have to get Tatis and Machado out. Not easy. I'm very impressed. The Padres are dangerous too. The the wild card teams are the most dangerous in the National League. No disrespect to how great the Phillies and Dodgers have. I worry about the Dodgers' young pitching, especially if they had to go to City Field with injured pitching staff, with that crowd of citizens. City Field. Oof, I don't know. Just I hope Noel Shantis' team does well because he's on my show. I really do. I just have concerns. And then the Phillies will last year's choke job in the World Series, not in the World Series, choke job against Arizona. I wonder how that plays. Will it motivate them or will it paralyze them? So we'll see. I'm going to let the series play out. And when the series ends, I'll do a report on the next round. What's wrong with the Baltimore Orioles? They've been 0-10 the last, I believe, 3 playoff series. They lost 1-0, kind of listless. You think with the great season they had, they'd be so motivated. Kudos to the Royals because Cole Reagans was big time, 6 innings and eight Ks. Corbin Burns was good, but he didn't have no help. They took care of Bobby Witt did what he had to do, getting a run in. All they needed was 1 run, and KC won. And Baltimore's 0-10. You talking about pressure? The next game, I want to see when I do the baseball report when this series is over. I want to see what happens with Baltimore. I want to see how they respond. 0-10, and most of these losses are home. Oh gosh, I expect Baltimore to try to snap back. Let's see who they have going. They have Zach Efron, who's a good pitcher, going against Seth Lugo, an old guy, a good veteran. Zach Efron, 10-9, almost a 3.59 ERA. You better be on your game because, like I said, you know how it goes when you're behind and it's an elimination game. You start to fall behind, start getting tight. You start trying to swing at balls with runners in score position. You think I better get this run in or we're going to screw this. Our season's going to end. There's a lot of pressure. Who overcomes that pressure? Who can take the right pitches? Who could wait until you get your pitch, hit your pitch, hit mistakes, bring in all the runs, pitch, close games when you have a lead? Who can do that? That's what it comes down to. And Baltimore, oh boy. And then the other game, kudos to the Tigers. Tigers have been, and I had my best friend say, you better watch out for the Tigers because I said, well, I haven't seen them. What makes them so good? He says their young pitching is insanely good and completely shut down the good Astro lineup. Tariq Shubal was fantastic. 6 innings, 6 Ks. He beats Valdez. And Brisky gets the save. And this is another team you don't want to play. The Tigers have caught fire. They were way behind, and they just were blazing toward the end of the year and snatched that wild card spot from the Twins. Now they go into Houston not caring. I don't think they're scared of it. Houston better turn into vampires where they always come from behind. They got lucky last year against the Seattle Mariners. Should have lost that series. I wonder if finally the door goes shut. I wonder if it's like when the Titans destroyed the Patriots and sent them home forever, never to be seen again. I just wonder if it's like that. And the new kids on the block are coming. Like I said about the Mets, if you're Cleveland and the Yankees, do you really want to see the Tigers? And the Tigers are undefeated against the Yankees in postseason history. So I want to see if the Tigers can finish this off and Kansas City can finish this off. So when I come back with my baseball report, I want to see the developments that happen in this wild card round. The Lions look like they're trying to get their swagger and their groove back. Golf went 18 for 18. He caught a touchdown pass. He was fantastic. Jared Goff, 18 of 18, 100% passing, 2 touchdowns, under 55.8 rating. That's as good as you could play. Gibbs ran the ball. Montgomery ran it well. Jameis Williams had a great electrifying game, clinching touchdown. Very impressed with the Lions. Now I'm going to give you my top five. I got the Chiefs. I got to think about this. I got the Chiefs. Baltimore. I also have number 3. Who do I want to go with? I want to go with Minnesota at number. I want to go Minnesota number 2, Baltimore number 3, the Detroit Lions number 4, and the Texans number 5. That's as good a 5 as you could get. Anybody that's doing the rankings should do that. Chiefs, Vikings, Ravens, Lions, Texans. Now, there's a lot of teams right below that could be ranked in that group, but I'm going with that for now. That's my leaderboard until next week.